Welcome back, Helldivers. Before we get too far into this video, thank you for all the support you've shown the channel, and I want to say really quickly that this video is being recorded on my iPhone. Of course, right when I go out on a very long work trip that's very important for me, something happens with Helldivers. So we're going to see the launch of Escalation of Freedom. I'm going to read through the Sony blog post here, which says, "Welcome to the Escalation of Freedom, Helldivers. We've taken the time to gather feedback from our players on the front lines, and we're bringing greater variety to our content. From missions and objectives to enemies and planets, we're delivering lots of new content for both our veteran players and brand new Helldivers on the battlefield. Get ready for our biggest update yet." Let's take a look at that trailer real quick.
Since launch, we've improved Helldivers quite significantly together with you, the community. We've released a lot of content, such as the flyers, the TCS missions, the destruction of an entire planet. This time around, we got something special prepared for you.
It's our first step out of many, where we're gonna expand the game in big, meaningful ways.
New game modes, new objectives, new enemies, and even a whole new difficulty.
To give you that, we have to escalate it. An escalation of freedom.
Our community continues to show us how strong we all are when united against the mindless automatons and the scourge of the Terminid. As we stand here on the eve of the Escalation of Freedom, we reflect on the 6 months since launch. We could never have predicted how far this game would go and how many citizens would answer Super Earth's call to arms. We've watched our forces expertly handle every conflict and challenge we've thrown their way, from flying enemies to the Terminid control system to saving the children of Super Citizen Anne's hospital. Now, for this major update, it's time for us to give back something big to the community and welcome in even more players to the Helldivers universe. Something that continues to amaze us is our players' insatiable desire for more bugs, more bots, more liberation, and more destruction. We thought 9 levels of Helldiving difficulty would be enough, but in the Escalation of Freedom, we're turning it up to 10. Combat rating 10, that is. CR10, Super Helldive, is our most challenging, most relentless dive difficulty level yet. And we hope that this is going to give the players the intensity that they're looking for on the battlefield. And with great challenge comes great reward. But a new difficulty isn't the only thing the community wanted. We've also heard your desire for mission variation, which is why we're bringing you new mission objectives and bigger enemy outposts for both bots and bugs that offer brand new super sample rewards. These outposts will be heavily fortified and require players to coordinate and strategize in order to take them out. And if you're new to Helldivers 2, you don't have to worry about missing out on all the fun until you unlock Super Helldive, because many of our new mission objectives will be playable on other difficulty levels. Escalation of Freedom is unleashing some new threats to our liberty that will take some serious strategizing from the Helldivers to take down. Backed by popular demand, the Impaler. This big guy from the original Helldivers creates some new challenges. No longer can you run from the bugs when the Impaler is around. Big, imposing, and destructive, it demands to be dealt with. Also, new among the Terminid ranks is the Spore Charger. As if the regular old Charger wasn't scary enough, the Spore Charger is shrouded in fog to obscure its location until it's right up on you, Helldiver. Lastly, the Terminid Alpha Commander, which is a supercharged brood commander that's bigger, meaner, and doesn't hesitate to call in other bugs for backups. Don't think we forgot about the automatons. Their ranks are growing too, with the addition of the formidable rocket tank, as well as some bot surprises we'll be throwing your way. I do want to mention really quick that in the trailer, I saw that the Chicken Walker now has more armor and rockets. No thank you. I do not want to mess with those guys. Explore the swamps, but not as you know them. With rolling fog and untamed flora, the blackened trees obscure the light and the air itself feels haunted. Keep your flashlight handy, as visibility is limited and light is key. The enemy could be hiding anywhere amongst the undergrowth. The last addition I want to highlight about the Escalation of Freedom update is that we're making changes to mitigate the problem of grief kicking in Helldivers 2. While it's our hope that players engage with the game in good faith and sportsmanship, we do recognize that some players are using the team kicking to grief others. To help improve this, we have implemented a system where if a player is kicked, they will spawn into a new session as the host with all of the team's loot from their previous session. All items can now be picked up by the player before extraction. The squad doing the kicking will see a message in the chat widget that a player has been kicked, yet their loot remains unchanged. With these changes, all players have the opportunity to leave with all loot collected on mission, with no one Helldiver losing out. We're committed to making changes that will improve the player experience and encourage healthy, cooperative gameplay. Along with this, we're also releasing other quality of life upgrades with Escalation of Freedom, including major fixes to the social menu to make diving with your friends easier. Overall, we think this Escalation is going to be packed of full, awesome additions, long-awaited improvements, and a ton of surprises to discover. Helldivers 2 Escalation of Freedom is launching on August 6th. I think this is perfect timing for Helldivers 2. I recently made a video talking about 6 months after the release, is the game dead? And for the most part I said no, but a lot of people in general are saying, well, the player base has dropped and there's just not a lot for me to do. Now, one thing that I think that's very important, some people who say the game has nothing to do are the same people who got the game and immediately put 600 hours into it. So of course, if you put 600 hours into most games, there's not going to be a lot left to do. But for those players that felt like they did everything in Helldivers 2, I think this is awesome that we're getting kind of a larger update. This is definitely the way I was hoping Helldivers 2 would go. We haven't heard if they're still going to be doing war bonds. I'm sure they will. They have to have something for us to pay for. And it's great that they're taking their time to create these war bonds, but I do think that this is a good idea to have kind of these maybe larger named updates, hopefully that come every 6 months or in the future even more frequently. Obviously, everybody is awaiting the arrival of the Illuminate. I have a feeling that won't be coming until next year, or at least the game's 1-year anniversary. They're taking their time adding in new enemies and new missions and a new difficulty. I think overall that this update is more than just a quality of life. I think it's a great update that's going to bring a lot more playability to the game. And obviously this game blew up way more than they anticipated. They even said that in the video trailer for this update. So it's great to see them slowly but surely keeping on with this game and updating it. You got to remember, you look back at the first Helldivers game, if you go and play it now, that game's got, what, 10, maybe 12 years worth of content that they added in piece by piece. So I'm happy to be here at the beginning of Helldivers 2 and to see it grow, and I'm excited to see what Escalation of Freedom brings to the table. Let me know what you guys think about this update coming to the game in the comments down below, and don't forget to go spread democracy.
I'm ready to dive, and I hope you are too.